Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe Life, Love, and Mindset, the podcast where mindset meets movement, healing meets action, and the conversation creates transformation. I am your host, Kiki Chanel, award winning author, lifestyle blogger, and owner of 19 Lifestyle Magazine. Today, I have a very special guest, but you guys know how I like to do. I like to give my guests the opportunity to introduce themselves. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Stephanie Shine today. Thank you for coming to kick it with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite. I am very privileged and honored. You know what is so crazy because I really hate introducing myself. You know why? Because I kind of like let my story and my conversation introduce me, because
Okay,
it's like, what do you say? Like, I'm a life coach, I'm a minister, I'm a mother. I got a lot of titles, a lot of things going on, but who I am is what I talk about.
that's great. When we will move forward, then I love that,
Yeah.
and that's the reason why. Because everybody's introduction is different, and
hmm
so it gives me the opportunity to see how you see yourself, and I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So thank you for kicking it with me today. We're gonna move right into the mindset moment. You know, we always talk about mindset, but we don't talk about the experience that shaped our mindsets or wrapped around it. So I'll
Mhm.
ask a couple of questions and then you just answer however you see fit, right?
Okay. All right.
Okay, so what mindset shift changed the way you approach life?
Um, so I wrote a book and it's called Finally. 7 things that took me 40 years to learn.
Mm,
And so my mom died when I was 33 years old. And it was like the hardest, lowest, worst time of my entire life. And
mm,
between 33 and 40 is 7 years. And so I'm big on numbers, and seven being the number of completion.
yep.
And that journey for me was my mind shift. It happened because it was nothing but me and God. It was nothing but, I'm talking about stripped down to the bare, being, you talking about daily bread, just
Mm,
facing yourself, the good, the bad, the ugly, just taking off the mask, stripping down to myself and allowing God
mm.
to show me who he created me to be and who he wanted me to be. And so that journey in there was a mind, because I think that a lot of times we don't know who we are, who we're supposed to be, because we're so busy living our lives trying to be who we think we're supposed to be based on what other people, so you got what your parents think and what their dreams and hopes for you are. And so you're trying to do what they want. And then you go in and your peers and then your mates. And so you go through all of that. And in that, sometimes it's like you never get the opportunity to say, hey, wait a minute, who am I?
Mm.
Outside of all of these titles that have been given to me and that I have, God created me with a purpose in mind. And so my whole shift came at the age 33, and it was like rock bottom for me. And it, I learned, and I learned me. It wasn't about anybody else. It was about that I am in control of me, and I have way more power to change who I am and change me than changing the people around me.
I love that. And I do you believe follow-up question because
Mhm.
I love what you said and but do you believe that our mindset can like it's more able to accept the shift when we experience like loss because the same thing happened for me in 2020 after losing my bonus daughter
Okay.
and I just didn't see things different. I mean, the same anymore. Like what used to make me upset or whatever, I let it slide. The people that I found myself gravitating to, I don't need those people to validate me anymore because it's just like life is too short. I need to do and walk in my purpose. But I think I had to go through that healing journey and I'm still on the journey. But do you
Mhm.
believe that our mindset shifts is tied to like a major like loss?
I do, and it's unfortunate though. That's the
Hmm.
unfortunate thing because you ever see some people that just don't get it, and you be
Yeah.
like, something's gonna have to happen for them to get it. And it's unfortunate that it's like that. Like we got to go through some kind of tragedy or major loss to really be able to gain. One of my big favorite scriptures in the Bible is it's Isaiah 1, and a lot of people may not even look at it as a scripture to quote, but it is so packed for me because it says, it's in Isaiah, and he says that the year that King Uzziah died, I saw God high and lifted up, God high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple with his glory, right? So a lot of people, read that. But when I read that, I say, he said, the year King Uzziah died, I saw God.
Mm.
That means that something had to die for him to see God in a different way. That's not saying that he hadn't seen him before, but he saw something different.
Right.
And usually something have to die. Sometimes it's literal,
Hmm.
sometimes it's figuratively, but I believe that those are our aha moments.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I totally agree. So, what belief did you have to unlearn to grow?
Oh man, everything. I
Right.
had no, because listen, I grew up a very strong people pleaser with no boundaries.
Hmm.
I thought that if I treated people the way I wanted to be treated, that the world would be a wonderful place.
Yeah.
And I found out that that wasn't true. Because we're raised like that, right? Treat people the way you want to be treated. It
Yep.
doesn't work. You have to treat people where they are.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because if not, you set yourself up for all of these uh, expectations that are just not going to be met. And when I began to bring down the expectations of people and rely on people to treat me the way I want to be treated, what I had to relearn is that no, I'm going to treat me the way I want to be treated, right? And then I will attract people that follow suit and trying to just get everybody to get on my program. Nah, it doesn't work like
It
that.
really doesn't. And you save yourself so much heartache when you do that because
Yeah,
you're setting the stage or giving the foundation of how you want people to treat you by the way that you treat yourself.
yeah,
I had to go through that as well. So
yeah.
it's just alignment. I love when guests come on and it's like their stories are like a representation of some of the things that I've experienced. So it lets me know that God is always working. And that's
Always
one of the
ordering our steps.
yes. And that's one of the things that I prayed when I started this podcast in 2020. God, you send the people that are supposed to be on my show so the listeners can get what they need from
That's
our conversation.
that's
So
right.
thank you for being vulnerable enough to share your experience with my listeners today. And thank you for being here again. But I want to talk about what mindset kept you grounded during a difficult season.
Um, I'm very humble and thankful and grateful. Um, I just feel like it's personal, right? And so it's things that we go through, things that we do that maybe nobody else knows about, but you know, you know.
Mhm.
It's like God knows the depth of my heart, and yet He still loves me. He know all
Right.
the little ugly things about me, and He still loves me. That keeps me grounded.
I love that. I love that. That's a beautiful place to be in, right?
Like
I
who
wasn't
am I?
always there.
No, it's like even when I want to be quick to judge other people, I have to stop and be like, all right now, you
Hmm.
know, and it just keeps you in a place of humility and thankfulness and gratefulness because of all the things that go on in the world and the crazy things. I always say it could have been me. But God has been so good to me, and so I protect that with making sure that I'm humble in every way possible.
Absolutely. I totally agree. We have to because life can be hard. And we have to make sure that we are having that attitude of gratitude and being grateful for the things that we have, because everybody does not have the same thing.
No, no. And you know what? I took it's this test you take. I think I got it in church years ago because I was in leadership, and it's a personality thing. You know, they have you take these tests to kind of figure out what ministry would be best for you and all of that.
Okay.
And I scored really low in compassion.
Wow.
Yeah, I did at the time because I had been through a lot and overcame. And so that's
Hmm.
how I would look at people like, get over it. Like,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, because we can look at something we've gone through and then look at somebody else and be like, that ain't nothing, right? And so
Right.
I would, I'm like, I felt like I have overcome a lot. I have, but that doesn't. I don't get to minimize somebody else's. It could be, they stumped their toe and it was the worst pain ever. I can't look at them and be like, really, like
Yeah.
we gonna sit here and cry about your toe. That's how I used to be.
Hmm. Hmm. I
But
get it.
for real. And then I had to learn compassion. I had to learn it. I had a really strong mother. You know what I'm saying? And so I just didn't grow up around a lot of complaining and all of that. And so when I see people do it, it would immediately put me in a place of, oh, here we go. And
Hmm.
I had to stop and I had to learn compassion. And so it is something I had to consciously work on to have. And I'm much better now.
Well, I'm glad. I mean, I had to learn self-compassion. I always had
Okay.
compassion for others, but
Okay.
I was my worst critic or enemy, so to
Okay.
speak. I would use negative self-talk to tear myself down because I didn't love
Mm.
myself at one point. Because I don't know why. I grew up in a loving household. I was loved as a kid. I had a great childhood, but it was just something subconsciously keeping me from allowing people to love on me the way that I thought that I was missing it. And then later it was like a slap in the face, like these people really loved you and you were trying to push them away. And why? I still don't know why. So that's something that I
Mm.
am still searching to try to figure out why I was pushing the people that were closest to me away, including myself, because I would always say, you could do better than that, or you shouldn't have wore that, or you should have wore it this way, or you should have wrote something this way. And it was always not, at least you did it. At least
Right.
you showed up. You were well received. People believe in you. So now I love journaling, and affirmations are my best friends. So
Good. You have to
yes.
remind you you're good at helping other people, but when it comes to yourself, it's like, it's
Yeah.
the struggle.
Yeah.
I understand. I get it.
Hmm.
And let me tell you something. It's really important, Kiki, finding out why. Because I some things I'm just coming to a realization about. I just came to a realization about me being a people pleaser who lacked boundaries, right? Because I couldn't understand why I was able to tie it back to my why because I grew up feeling like how I had to overcompensate for whatever good was about me. So if I was a pretty girl or if I had this and I had that, I had to overcompensate and say, yeah, but I'm a good person. I'm this, I'm that. I don't think oh, she think this or she. So I
Hmm.
was constantly trying to overcompensate to make people like me or see past the outer and see my heart and see me. I didn't grow up with sisters. So having that sisterhood and having that connection to women was so important to me. And so I found myself just going above and beyond and constantly and constantly and constantly. And this went into my 50s. And then I just woke up one day. I went to counseling and I'm
Hmm.
like, why is it that in my whole life, when I look back all the relationships, I have been hurt way more, not way more, period. All of my hurt and drama and trauma has come from women, not from men.
Mm. Wow. That was a great revelation, because a lot of people go their whole life holding on to something and they never know why. I
Yeah.
need to go ahead and figure out why I felt like that. I don't feel like that anymore. because I
Hmm.
got to a point where I was so low where I would tell people, don't pray for me, pray for yourself because you might need it more than me.
Right.
And although I knew God was always with me, it was almost like he was saying, I'm right here whenever you're ready.
That's right.
But I'm not
That's
gonna
right.
force myself on you. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you can look back over the things that you've overcame in seasons of self-loathing, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes you put yourself, it's almost like the martyr syndrome. Like, if I deny myself, if I don't do this, and then I'm a good person. This makes me good. This makes me
Hmm.
better. And it's like, no, it don't.
Right, right. Not at all. Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you're denying yourself. And it happens. But I think it's part of what you're saying you dealt with was still part of people pleasing. It's you felt better shrinking yourself and making other people feel big.
That's it. That is it. And I just thank you for that. That is it. That is it. And I still find myself doing that at times.
Mhm.
And I have to realize that God created you to be a leader.
That's right.
You are made different for a reason.
Yeah. And you just
You
have
know,
to
your gifts are your gifts. Yeah.
and what people like us have to do is we just, instead of just settling for what's around us, sometimes we have to be intentional on finding our tribe.
Yes. Yes. Definitely. I've been there, done that. My tribe is a C. Right about
Okay.
there.
Mine is a period.
Right. And I always joke and say they can see me and I can see them, so we good right now.
Right.
But it happens, and I think that we have to go through certain things when we don't learn the lesson the first time
That's
in
right.
order to learn it so that we can help someone else through it.
That's really what it's all about. Everything we go through is not even about us. It's like,
Yeah.
sometimes you be like, God, why? And then later on in life, you're gonna know why. You're gonna run into that person that needs that experience that you went through. You'll be like, oh, it's happened so many times to me. And I'll be like, wow.
Hmm. Or you don't know people. Well, people, I tell my kids, people are always watching, but sometimes I'm in awe when I run into somebody and they say, I see you. Keep doing what you're doing. We need that. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you was a follower of the podcast or whatever, but they can recall certain episodes back to me. So I'm like, they have to be watching in order to know that that happened because this was like a long time ago. So it's just refreshing to know that you're on the right path. For me, it is for
It
sure.
is. And anytime you do what you're doing, when you're called to the forefront, you have to, there's a resolve you have to have within yourself because we live in such a critical world.
Mhm.
And so when you come and do that, you have to come knowing that, you know what, my voice is not going to be for everybody. The people that God has assigned to me, that is who I'm for. And the rest of y'all, if I ain't your cup of tea, if this, it's okay. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I'm, I'm not gonna make everybody happy, and it's okay. And I
Hmm.
think that's the biggest thing in a time. So I applaud you uh, for getting in your light and not and letting God, you know, deal with the
With the
bystander.
bad. Absolutely, because the last year KeKe is not the same as KeKe that you see, and I'm glad that I'm not the KeKe that was for 5 6 years ago. So yeah, I'm
That's
excited
awesome.
about it.
That's awesome.
Um, don't ask you something about love. How has love, whether self love or in relationships, shifted your mindset?
Um, love. Okay, so let's look at it like this. I believe, first of all, love, everybody loves differently. So, we know that there's love languages, right? But I
Mhm.
don't, just outside of the love languages, I think we expect love and we give love based on how we were raised. For
Mm.
example, I probably can count on one hand, KeKe, how many times I heard my mom say, I love you. I mean, I just don't remember her saying it a lot. But how I know she loved me is based on her sacrifice, what
Hmm.
she did and the sacrifices she made to make sure that I was good, that her children was good, that we had what we needed, that, and I knew that wasn't always easy for her, but
Right.
she did it. That was love. And so I carried that, right? So love for me is what you do.
Action.
It's not what you say. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's understanding that, it's definitely an action word. And so a person can come up and tell me, you love me, and this and that. But what you do, it's easy. I use this as an example. So if you were coming over my house and I asked you to stop at the Wendy's before you got to my house, well, the Wendy's is on your way to my house. You don't have to go out of your way to go to
Hmm.
Wendy's. But what if I asked you to go to Wendy's and Wendy's was 30 minutes opposite the way you were coming? Would you then say, okay? Because see, to me, it's like sacrifice is how you really show love. When stuff is easy, it's easy.
It's easy. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so you really don't know. And so through sacrifice and just through understanding it, and I don't think love has shifted my mindset. I think love has kept me grounded.
Mm.
Um, I think that I had to deal with the loving self thing because I think we got the loving ourselves really all screwed up because we go through this thing, especially women, where I got to get back to loving myself. I got to love myself. But the question is, who told you to stop loving yourself?
Yes.
What happened? Because think about it. The Bible says to love your neighbor the way you love yourself,
Hmm.
which implies we were born loving ourselves. Nowhere does God tells us to love ourselves.
Hmm.
It's part of who we are, which
Right.
means that self-love should be automatic. It should be so automatic till it's the paces of how we love each other,
Right.
which means that the only way we stop loving ourselves is we start believing some lies. The enemy then came up through relationships, all kind of stuff, and made us believe that we are not who we say we are, who God said we
Right.
are. And we bought into it. We let some man tell us something. We let our peers tell us something that wasn't true. So now you got to get all that junk out. So now when you talk about mind shifting, right? You got to get all of that out. You got to put yourself in a position where you go back to remember, loving yourself and why. And God made me, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. And all of the affirmations and things you need to tell yourself to get back
Right.
to what it is, right? And so love is easy for me, KeKe. Love is easy because it's not hard to love people. It's hard to
Mm.
like people for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So love is like you could just because you love people, we're commanded to do it. So I don't even feel like I have a choice to love you, but liking you,
Different story. Yeah. Yes. I love that though. I love that. Like, who told us to stop loving
who
ourselves?
told you that? What
Wow.
happened? Can you go back to that moment? Can you go back to you? Do you remember when? Like I remember when it had to leave, and it was because of a man. It was because I allowed mistreatment. I allowed abuse. I allowed these things, which told me that clearly self love was not present if I allowed you to treat me like this. Ain't no way. Ain't no way
Right.
I love myself and I let you get away with that.
Correct. I agree. I totally agree. That is amazing. Listen, y'all need to rewind that and listen to what she just said. Do not let anyone make you compromise loving yourself. It is not up for debate ever,
and
ever.
and it's what it comes down to sometimes is that it's not that I don't love you, I just
Hmm.
love me more.
Have a chain that says that. I love me way more. I do. And I need
Yes,
to wear
that's
it more
it.
often. And every time I wear that, women stop me and say, "Where did you get that from?" Got it from the TikTok shop, y'all.
Okay. And get a
So,
t-shirt, the mugs, and everything, because that's just it. And two things can be true at the same time. I can love you and me. But let me tell you something. If I ever have to choose,
choosing me every time.
choosing me every time. There you
I
go.
almost wore a t-shirt that said that. That is so funny. It says, "I'm choosing me every time."
Every time.
Wow, this is amazing. So let's talk about the life coaching, well, the career and lifestyle coaching. And we talked a little bit about the book.
Mhm.
So, how can we get a copy of the book, support, and let's talk about how you
Okay.
got into the coaching side.
Coaching. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about the coaching.
Okay.
So I have a daughter. I only have one. And my daughter, she's actually getting ready to be 36. And
Wow.
so my I always say being a mother for me is the role of a lifetime. It's to
Mhm.
me where my success lies. It's my success is not connected to corporate America or any business I do. My success lies in me being a mother.
Same.
Okay. And so, and you may can relate to this. You have daughters?
I have a daughter. Hmm.
Well, you go through this period with kids, period, but especially daughters. So what was happening to me was as my daughter was getting older, I was having it. I don't want to say I was having a hard time of letting go. I was having a hard time of still mothering. Because we can always put a mother card. You need to do this, 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 and this. I'm your mother. Like
Hmm.
it is what it is.
It is right.
It is what it is. But they get to that age where that doesn't work anymore. And so if you keep trying to pull that card, then you're going to isolate yourself. You're going to make them try to deal with you less and not be around because they don't have to take your advice. They ain't got to listen to you. They don't have to do nothing, none of that no more. Right.
Hmm.
And so I really went through a hard time with that. And I went to God and I'm like, I don't want to lose my daughter here, but we're having a little tug of war here. Right. And the Lord released me. And what he began to show me was she didn't no longer needed parenting. She needed coaching.
Mm. Wow.
And so I went and I looked at coaching. I went and got the certification, went and did it all to help me with motherhood.
Wow. That's amazing, though. That's amazing. I've never looked at it from that perspective before.
Yeah, because see, a coach just is in place to help you win. It's just
Hmm.
period. And so they give you a game plan, they help you, they give you strategy. They come, it's not me telling you what to do, it's you know what I'm saying? And so it worked. I coached her into her career. She became a real estate agent. She didn't want to. She didn't. I'm like, look, you want lifestyle, and in order for you to get lifestyle outside of marrying somebody rich, real estate will be able to give it to you. You're not finna go sit on nobody's job for 40 hours a week because that ain't who you are. Based on who you are, my knowledge of you, real estate is gonna get you to the lifestyle you want. So I'm like,
Wow.
go get your real estate license. So then she get her real estate license. I said, now you need to become a broker. Oh, no, 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 no. Come get a broker. So now she's a broker. She's a broker in 2 states.
Nice.
And I coached her, you know what I'm saying? So now our relationship, I mean, we mother and daughter, but when it comes to life decisions and life goals and things like that, I'm more her coach instead of her mother. When she comes to me with an issue about business and things like that, I put on my coach hat.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I leave all of the personal, I got a horse in a race part out. Is I deal with her strictly. And so what's so amazing about it is a lot of people that either know her or follow her on social media, these are the people when I started coaching public, started my coaching business, they're all my clients.
Wow.
I have a lot of real estate agents that are clients,
Hmm.
a lot of, because they got to see the dynamic of me and her. They, and she shows us on her page and just our dynamic. And a lot of people love our relationship. And our relationship really developed and is developing more as two adult women. And now she is my number one coaching client.
Love that. Oh, wow, that's amazing. So if anybody wanted to like try and work with you, how would they go about that process?
They could, before we go, I'm on all social media platforms. You can put up my email address. You can put up my phone number. But yes, I love helping women. I was doing it naturally, just naturally. It just was naturally who I was. You know what I'm saying? But I really do. I think that um, me and my daughter, we started a nonprofit called We Shine,
Hmm.
and it focuses on entrepreneurship, access, opportunity, and emotional wellness. And emotional wellness piece is very near and dear to me because that's my thing. I feel like if we could ever get control of our emotions, that
Yes,
we could run the world literally.
I agree. I
And
agree.
so helping, come out of our emotions, not, and listen, emotions are a good thing, they're real,
Mhm.
but knowing how to manage them, not allowing them to lead us and guide us. And, we following our emotions around like a little puppy dog. No, being able to take a beat, not respond, take a beat, wait a minute, think about it, before, a lot of little things like that. So I teach a lot of that. I'm really big on it because I feel like it's one of our, especially when it comes to matter of the heart, we
Right.
struggle, we
Hmm.
struggle, but having women start to reevaluate their whys, a lot of times we have all of these strong belief systems and we have to I start questioning them like, well, where did that come from? Why do you
Right.
feel like this has to be like this? Who told you that? Why? Even once women get into their 40s, right, and they find themselves single, whether it's through divorce or never married, you have to re-examine your why. Okay, when you're younger, you want to have kids, you want to have a family, okay, so what happens when you're on the other side of that?
Right.
What's your why? Is your why based on your personal need or what society says it should be?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I love presenting questions to make us think differently, to look at something like, I never looked
Yes.
at it like that. I love that.
Yeah, it's working too, because she done did, I done said that a couple of times doing this interview. So y'all get to see it in real
It was
time. Like,
real time.
yes, I love that. So I will make sure that her email and her telephone number is in the show notes. All of her social media will be there as well, so you can connect and see if she's a good fit for you guys. Uh, Mindset, life, career, relationships. We all need to be in a place where our emotions do not drive our life so that we can live the way that God intends for us to live, right?
Yes, and you know what else is important? All of those three verticals have to make sure that they are strong by themselves.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They have to be strong because unfortunately, the unfortunate thing about women when our love life is not where we want it to be, when we're not happy, when we're not content in our love life, it affects those other two areas.
It does. Hmm.
And it's unfortunate, but it's how most of us are made. And so sometimes you have to work backwards. You got to get that figured out. You got to put that in its place. I get so many women that they go through a breakup or they're going through and I can't even help them. I'm supposed to be coaching them in maybe career, right? And maybe they're trying to start a business and a breakup happened in the middle of that coaching.
Everything on pause.
Everything on pause. Because now we got to go deal with that because
Right.
she can't do both at the same time. She is completely wiped out.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh God, we got to do better. Because men
Yes.
are like that.
Right. Men are not.
They're going to keep going. They ain't saying they ain't sad, they ain't whatever, but they're going to keep going. They're going to keep doing. And so sometimes what I want women to know is it's okay if you're struggling with that. I'm
Mhm.
saying people need help getting through those times.
Yes.
And it's okay to say, you know what? I am not going to make it if I don't get help.
And it's okay.
And it's okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Well, we're going to go into our reality check
Okay.
section. So I have some questions, and you just give me the first answer that pop into your head, right?
Okay.
All right. What's an uncomfortable truth people need to hear about personal growth?
Self-awareness.
Hmm.
Personal growth is nothing if you lying to yourself.
I 150% agree. All right. What belief or habit keeps people stuck the longest?
Delusion and denial.
Right. What do people? We're not even gonna unpack that because we'll
No.
be here for a long time. I'll have her back, guys, and we'll go into that right there.
Okay.
What do people romanticize about healing or success that isn't real?
They romanticize the outcome
Hmm.
because they don't see the process.
How they be doing?
The other finger, this one.
Yeah, this one right here. Yeah. See, that man, that right there gave me chills. I I don't get speechless too often, but yeah, exactly. Wow. They focus on
Hmm.
the outcome and not the
They
process.
romanticize the outcome. They
Mhm.
romanticize the house, the things, all of the stuff,
Mhm.
but the process. Nobody romanticizes the process. The process is where
Never.
is listen, think about it. The children of Israel, God gave them the promised land.
Mhm.
Oh, this your land flowing with milk and honey, is this and that. It's yours. But what God did not show them was all of the struggle and the battles and the people that was going to die, all the stuff between the journey where they started and where they got there. If God would have showed them the process, they'd have been like, we straight. We're going to stay.
Yep. We gonna stay in Egypt.
We good.
Some of them did say that though. Some of them did say that. We should have
Right.
stayed where we
We
were.
should have stayed where we were because you didn't tell us this part.
Hmm.
You just showed us the big house. You didn't tell us that we're gonna lose three little houses before we got to the big house.
Right. Right. Or we might have to pitch in and help build that big house.
Right. No, I mean he doesn't show us the process because he know we would be like, we good. He know.
Uh-huh.
But it's
He
the
knows.
process. But this is the beautiful part about it though. If God shows you the promise, then the process you can endure it because you
No,
win. It's like, okay, this is just all a part of it. Okay, let me go ahead and see the way my mind works is let me just go ahead and get this done, get past it. Ain't no
hmm.
use to complain about it, worrying about it. This is part of it. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way. Knock on, got that done. Closer to the promise. All right.
Right.
You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah, and that's a great way to look at it. I love that. I love that.
You
Okay,
know,
so what's one hard lesson that shaped who you are today?
hard lesson. Mm. It's kind of what we started talking about. My hard lesson was I I got in trouble for being a people pleaser. It affected me. It affected my life in many ways. I made bad decisions trying to please people that got me in trouble
Right.
being
Okay.
a people pleaser. And we can unpack that another day, another time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because I wasn't a people pleaser, but I was always kind of like, what are they thinking about me? You
Hmm.
know, I'm gonna do what I
Hmm.
want to do, but I want to. What do they think about what I'm doing?
Hmm. I
And
wanted, you know what, Kiki? I wanted people to like me because I felt like I'm cool. I'm real. I'm like who? But I later learned that I was trying to get people to like me that didn't like themselves.
There it is. And that's usually how it goes.
And that was the problem.
Yep. That is
I'm like,
always the
it's,
problem.
which gives me more grace towards people because now I don't take nothing personal. I'm like, you can't even help yourself. I put you in the sick category. Like she there. Put you over there.
Mm-hmm. And we could talk about that too. Don't stop taking everything so personally. It has nothing to do with you.
No,
But
no,
we're
I'm
gonna
like,
get into it.
they don't, it ain't about me. It's they just I represent something, but it's them. They don't like themselves. I get it.
Projection.
Because listen, how can you not like a person, one that has never done anything to you? One. How can you not like a person that has been good to you?
Mm-hmm.
That comes down when a person be like, oh, I just don't like, I can't put my finger on it. There's something about them. Nah, it's you.
It's you.
And I had to learn that the
Yeah.
hard way.
Mm-hmm. So have I. And now it's like I chunk the deuces and keep it moving.
Man,
Yes.
it was so wonderful here.
It is. Okay. All right. So let's throw a little love question in here. What
Okay.
is one reality people need to understand about love and relationships?
That in love, people not gonna like this.
That's okay.
Being in love is kind of like a myth. It's a fantasy.
Mm.
I think that love, I never could understand when a person met a person, they meet and they say, oh, I'm so in love. I'm like, how you in love with somebody you don't know? I understand attraction, but how you've never been through nothing with this person. You've
Mhm.
never been through life, a birth. You've never been through a death. You've never been through responsibilities and heartbreak and financial struggles. All of this to me is what builds and what produces. Now, if you've been with a person for 10, 20, 30 years and you're in love with them, then I believe you
Right.
because life has given you guys enough content on each other so you to make that statement. I believe that you have to live it out. You have
Mhm.
to walk it out to see, just to even see. I just don't know how you know up front. Another big thing of mine is love is a choice. We choose who
Mm.
we love. Love just don't happen. You're not going to be walking down the street one day and there's a big hole called love and you're going to fall in it and you don't know how to get out of it.
Mm.
No, um, we choose who we love and we choose it every day. We not only choose who we want to love, we choose how we want to love. We're not out of control like this is some type of reactor thing that's going. No, it's not that. We choose it. You just asked me the question before that what is a things that people look at wrong. And just
Mhm.
like the story of like Ruth and Boaz, right? They
Mhm.
romanticize that relationship and like, want my Boaz, but it was a business deal.
It really was.
It was Boaz was a kinsman redeemer, and it was so business till he wasn't even next in line. It was
Right.
another man, but he couldn't afford Ruth and Naomi because they was a
Mhm.
package deal. And so it
Mhm.
went to the next person who could afford both of them. And so it doesn't mean that love was absent. It wasn't a love story. Yeah, it's God's love story of how he makes provision for us and how he loves us. But the
Mhm.
story between Ruth and Boaz wasn't. Could it have grown into that? Of course it could have. I heard that
Mhm.
he didn't make it past the wet night.
Oh, wow.
But I'm saying we have stories like that who romanticize, and we've romanticized, and religion has probably, and clearly based on, I love the word, but I feel
Hmm.
like religion has jacked us up, women,
Yeah.
messed us up in this area really, really bad. And so we have all of this fantasy
Mm.
about love. And no, love is a wonderful thing. And love is something that we should have for each other. It's what we're commanded to do. So it's not some mythical thing. And when we love, we love. We love.
Hmm. We
You know
love.
what I'm saying? You know, people want to say love is love, right? And I used to hear that a lot when they with the whole LGBTQT, that whole movement, right?
Hmm.
And love is love. And I said, well, no, love isn't love. Because if love was love, people that were saying this to me, I asked a young lady, she said, well, love is love and people should be able to love who they want. I said, so what happens if your husband came home and said he loves the lady he worked with too? I mean, love
Mm.
is love, right? He can't
Hmm.
help it, right? She's like, well, no, I was like, that's all I'm saying. We have to be careful the things that we say because we
Right.
do get to choose who we love. Now, that's rather if it's a same sex or whatever, that's fine. But please know you're choosing it. It is
Choosing.
not
Hmm.
choosing you. That's what
Right.
I'm saying.
Yeah. That's a great way to look at it. Wow. That's amazing. Hmm. There she go again, y'all. Okay, so before we wrap up, I always like to do a mic drop moment, right?
Okay.
But before I get into that, tell the listeners how they can get a copy of your book.
Okay, so listen, finally is under revision.
Mhm.
And listen, I got a new book coming out. Y'all gonna love it. It's coming. It's gonna be released in October 26th. And the name of it is Girl Read Your Bible. And when I tell
Yes.
you this thing is gonna, and so when it comes out, my book finally, I'm going to put them together, and everybody that gets that book. So follow, people just need to follow me because all this information, everything is gonna come. They're gonna get it. But Girl Read Your Bible. I am so excited about it. It is coming. I have been very strategic when to release it. October 26th is my mom's birthday, and so I
Okay.
wanted
I was
the
gonna
book.
ask you what's the date.
Yeah, the book. I At first I was going to release it. I don't know. I've been messing with the dates, but I wanted to connect it to her in some type of way. So just been real strategic and when I release it and everything. But I'm so excited about the book. I think it's going to really, because what the book does is took. Uh, I believe that there is absolutely nothing new under the sun. And whatever we deal with as women, whether it is love, our finances, our relationships with each other, body image, whatever it is, God has dealt with it in His Word. And so what I do is match those things up. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, and it's very it's for the culture. You know what I'm
Love
saying?
it.
So it's taking a 3,000-year-old Bible and making it relevant for today.
I love that. I cannot wait. You have to come back. You have to come back
Yes,
and talk
100.
about the book. Yes.
Yes, I mean, I am so, I'm like, when I went back and started reading it, and I let my critics, I gave my daughter, my goddaughter stuff read it, and they were just like, they were calling back crying, like, oh my God, and so I am so excited. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for it too. Girl, read your Bible. I love it. We would definitely have her back to come and talk about the book once it is released, October the 26th,
Mhm.
2026. Make sure you follow her on social media. Drop the handles. They'll also be in the show notes, so there's no excuse. Go
Yes.
ahead and tell them how to follow you.
You can follow me at I am Dr. Shine. It's just all the way across. I am on that's Instagram. Facebook is Stephania R Shine. Where else? I think them the two main platforms. But even on there, so you don't even have to put my phone number in there, Kiki, because if they go to my Instagram page, if
Okay.
you go up to the my profile, You can
Mhm.
schedule a consultation with me. It's free. It's 30 minutes, and that's the conversation where we get to talk, I get to chit chat, and we find out if we're a good fit.
I love that. All right. So all that information will be listed for you guys. All right. So that mic drop moment.
Okay.
What is one truth about life, love, and mindset everyone should understand?
One truth: life, love, and mindset is what you make it. Nobody is coming to save you. It is nobody else's responsibility for your life, for how you love, or your mindset. It is completely up to you. You choose what type of life you want to live, what mindset that you need that's going to best serve you and the life that you're going after. And the love you want to give will be the love that you receive, which means it's all up to you.
If I had a mic, I would drop it. That was the mic. That was the mic drop moment with Dr. Stephanie Shine. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode. If this conversation spoke to you, make sure you subscribe, comment, share. I would love to hear the feedback. Make sure you tell someone who needs it. Remember that your story has power. Your voice has purpose and your mindset can change everything. I am back every Thursday with a new episode on all major streaming podcast platforms as well as YouTube. So make sure you tune in. And until next time, purple hugs. Later.